Welcome to Lesson 1. What is inquiry-based learning? As an instructor, many of the definitions and frameworks in Lesson 1 may already be familiar to you. But because Packback's approach requires a major shift from traditional discussion board models, the goal of this first lesson is to explain the methodology behind Packback's approach and the goals that we hope that our platform will be able to help you achieve in your classroom. What is inquiry-based learning? Inquiry-based learning is active learning that focuses on questions being posed to learners or by learners, rather than a more traditional educational model in which educators present facts and their own knowledge to the class. Now, it might sound counterintuitive, but inquiry-based learning isn't just about getting students to ask questions. Questions are the artifact, not the goal of an inquiry-based learning model. The real goal is to shift the relationship that a student has to their learning, sparking genuine curiosity and supporting students' intrinsic motivation by giving them greater choice, autonomy, and ownership in their learning. In an inquiry-based learning model, students and instructors interact as co-learners, rather than casting the instructors as knowledge givers and the students as knowledge receivers. Packback based our platform's design and method on two key frameworks related to inquiry-based learning: the communities of inquiry model, that shows us what creates great online communities, and self-determination theory, a behavioral psychology framework that teaches us what makes people motivated from within. The communities of inquiry model. So what makes great online communities? The communities of inquiry model reveals that when students are able to bring a cognitive presence, a teaching presence, and a social presence to an online discussion community, they achieve higher levels of critical thinking and engagement. In the communities of inquiry model, the cognitive presence relates to a student's critical thought and inquiry, which Packback supports by having students ask their own questions. Teaching presence is enabled by having students have individual ownership and responsibility over directing the discussion, rather than only acting as a participant. And social presence is provided by the interactive, peer-based format of Packback. Self-determination theory. What makes people motivated from within? Self-determination theory lays out some surprisingly similar conditions to those outlined in the communities of inquiry model, only here they're discussed in the context of what makes people intrinsically motivated. Intrinsic motivation is when someone is driven from within out of a genuine interest, rather than being driven by extrinsic motivators like a grade, a prize, or other reward. Self-determination theory suggests that an individual must feel a sense of relatedness, often also referred to as purpose, in their actions, that they must have autonomy over their actions, and they must feel a sense of competency in their actions. In Packback, these components are incorporated into every element of the design of the platform. By providing immediate feedback to students to allow them to see how they are performing, and then allowing them to see how their edits change the feedback they receive, Packback helps to reinforce a feeling of competency. By allowing students choice over what and when they post, Packback reinforces autonomy, and this is central to why our grading recommendations are designed the way that they are. And finally, by prompting students to post the questions that they're truly interested in, Packback helps students find relatedness between course material and their own experiences and interests. In the next lesson, we'll cover an introduction to what Packback is, how it works, and explain the key learning goals that the Packback platform supports.